Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Career Conversations with Oyin Hospi. This is a self-help and career development podcast that inspires us to fearlessly pursue our dreams and have successful careers. Each episode, we feature me having authentic conversation with established career professionals. They will share their journey, experience, and practical tips with the purpose of impacting and equipping us to improve our personal and professional lives. Joining me today is Akasemi Ollor, an experienced international commercial lawyer who played a major role in the historical acquisition of the first independently owned Ghanaian company to acquire a major stake in an oil block. Thank you so much, Akasemi, for coming on board.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so now let's dive into your career journey. I'm so excited that you're sharing this story with us. So can you tell us about your career journey?
My career journey. Okay. So I'm Akasemi Ollor. I'm a lawyer by training. I would say my career journey started when I was done with law school. I did we call it an attachment in law school with a law firm called Judge Itomi and Partners. It's one of Nigeria's foremost commercial law firms. And I remember before I did the attachment, I used to always think law was about the litigation and the going to court and all of that. And I remember when I said the attachment, I saw there was another side of law, which was like the commercial side, and they wear suits and jeans and you chill, and you actually do more commercial work and more computer-based work than going to court every day. Because I saw from my court attachment that I didn't like going to court every day. So that piqued my interest in commercial law, and I met with the founding partner during that attachment a couple of times, and just talking to him, he became my mentor, by the way, and just talking to him, I said, okay, this is the path I want to follow. And so I practiced with the law firm of Judge Itomi and Partners for a couple of years, a couple of years, and then I worked with my present company now called Springfield. They were my clients while I was at Judge Itomi and Partners. So I did a work on a number of their briefs, including the negotiation of the petroleum agreement. And when that was done, they asked that I help set up the legal and compliance department. So I moved to Accra to help them set up the legal and compliance department. And just based on the work that I had done for them with the PA and all of that, we felt that I would be a good fit, and I would also be very, very helpful to them to do that. So we started working on setting up the legal and compliance department. And yeah, that's where I still am today. We brought in more staff in the department, obviously. I work closely. We have a co-head of the department, the other manager in the department. So he's a lawyer as well. We have some other junior staff in the department. And yeah, so I guess that's the story of my career journey. It's a case of being inspired by a mentor and doing good work that paves the way for more work for you. I guess that's how I would summarize it.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So I'm just going to jump right into the topic. So I know that you played a major role in positioning your current company, which is Springfield, as the first independent Ghanaian-owned company to acquire a major stake in an oil block. That's I know I read that. So that's huge. Can you share how you were able to pull that out?
Yes. So how we were able to pull that out? So it was basically, we were a team, right? Like I said, they were our clients, and the team was led by Mr. Judge Itomi, the principal partner of Judge Itomi and Partners, and my boss. And so what happened was the firm had done a lot of work in the oil and gas space, and then Springfield approached us to help them negotiate the petroleum agreement. And because we already had that active thing, we were able to help them. I think our goals during the negotiation was just to achieve the most commercially favorable terms that we could, and to also not to approach the negotiations from a point of collaboration, because we are negotiating with the government of Ghana and the GNPC, and to just know that the end goal is for everyone to succeed, because we're a Ghanaian company, right? So we had to present our terms as such. Also looking at it from a partnership point of view, in that at the end of the negotiation, we will be working with the GNPC as our partners. So there's no need to come at it from a combative viewpoint, but rather like, how can we work together? What is in our best interests for both entities at this moment? And also at the end of the day, what's in the interest of Ghana, because the country is also going to benefit from the resources. And the company is Ghanaian owned as well. So whatever is made benefits Ghana, because we are employing people, we are investing in the communities and all of that. So that was able to work. That's how we were able to achieve that. And I believe the negotiations, it didn't take as long as it would ordinarily take, because we are really focused on closing the terms and closing the deals. I think the final negotiations were done in December. Well, to just put it in perspective, this process starts a lot earlier than the time when the lawyers come in. So before that, all the technical work has to be done, right? And then you also have to have your core commercial people do the numbers and run the models and all of that. So when the lawyers come in, you're basically just tying everything together, right? So I have to work closely with the commercial team as well to understand what the viewpoint is from the profitability standpoint, and also the technical guide. So the core negotiations themselves were finalized in December, and then December 2015, and the next year the petroleum agreement was presented to Parliament, and they approved it. So I think for negotiations for us, how we're able to achieve it is, or for me, is always a collaborative viewpoint. It's always a win-win approach, and that's the approach that we've taken in this.
I would like you to share what sort of competencies were you exhibiting to have made your stakeholders, I mean your senior partners, to believe that I think that she's a worthy member of the team, and then they put you on the team. So can you share what sort of competencies you were exhibiting so that people can learn from that?
Okay. Yeah, the competencies I was exhibiting. I like to work. I guess that's how I'll put it. I like to work. So I do a lot of research. When I was training as a junior lawyer, I used to do a lot of research, and wide range research. I was willing to do a lot of tasks, even if it's just from a knowledge standpoint, because I feel no knowledge is wasted. That's a belief that I hold very strongly. No knowledge is wasted. So I was good with a lot of research. Also, I was willing to take on tasks that people would ordinarily not take on, because they feel like the work is not a lot, the work is too much. So me, I'd rather take that on, and I see it as a challenge. So I wouldn't say, oh, I don't want to do this because I don't know how to do it. I don't like to say I don't and I can't. Nah, I'm always willing to do what it takes to get the job done. I am, which other competencies would I say? I am collaborative, so you have to also be a good team player as well, and also personable. So you have to make it. You can't be just difficult on necessary issues. So that's why I said, even in negotiations, I take a collaborative style in negotiations, and I'm taking principled. It's called like principled negotiations. You focus on the principles, not the people, and all of that, and not get drawn into entrenched positions. So from a perspective, I would say you have to be willing to do the work. That's it. You have to have willing to do the work, and you have to have the skills. So always up your skills. If you are in an area and you're in corporate law, for example, always try to read widely new trends, upcoming trends, so you can give your perspective on it. And also what I did, I think, which also helped me, is that I did a lot of thought leadership and writing, because Jody told me and partners was known for their the thought leadership position. So I also was a part of the editorial team as well, and like edited newsletters, wrote articles for the firm in newspapers and all of that. So all of that are the things when your partner or when your bosses see your quality of work and they see that you are willing to do the work, then they feel confident in giving you responsibilities. Because before these negotiations, I'd done other things and my boss could see that I was willing to do the work and I was able to handle it, and they could trust me because I tend to be hard on myself, right? So I'll cross-check my work over and over again to make sure that by the time it gets to them, there's really not much notes or feedback to do. And so all of that gives comfort. Even now when I have younger people working for me, I like to give work to people that I know that they would take on the responsibility, and then they would check themselves enough that by the time it gets to me, the notes that I can give are not so extensive, right? So you don't want to be doing something and they're correcting you on the same thing every single time. The person is taking it. You have to take on correction and implement it in your work. So I would say a willingness to work, quality of work, do the research so you know you always keep learning, so you can always keep learning so that you build your knowledge base and you are competent when you speak.
Fantastic.
I don't know if that's
Fantastic. So I wanted to ask, currently I know that you're the head of legal and international business practice in your organization. To me, I mean, of course, and also from you sharing that, that's like, a very, a leadership position in your organization. And I know that you're young, so some people don't get that kind of a title until much later in their career. So what sort of feeling comes with that?
So what sort of feelings come with that?
Come with that huge title, that big
okay.
title.
Okay. The title is actually it's the department is actually legal and compliance. Legal and compliance. Like I said, I started the department, but now I work with I have someone in the department like me, so we kind of like a co-heads, I guess. So we both lead the team. But the feelings that come with it is one of great responsibility. It's one of great responsibility because you know that you're responsible for a lot of risk. You have to manage a lot of risk that the company faces on a day-to-day basis. The good part about it is that you know the work you're doing matters. So you can see that the work you're doing matters. You can see when the deals are closed, when the work program is moving, you know that this is due to the background work that you have done. But it's one of great responsibility. That's what I would say. It's great responsibility because at the slightest, if there's a slip, that could there'll be great consequences. So what it does is it gives you. You have to be very thorough. It also makes you really commercial minded in the sense that if you're in core practice, right, there are some issues and you go, oh, those are commercial issues, and I don't even need to think about it because the client will figure it out. But in this situation, your company is your client, right? So when you're thinking of the legal or the compliance side of anything, you're also thinking of what's the
you're thinking of the commercial and the business side
of your decisions, right? So you have to now flip it, and you're trying to balance the commercial interests of the company along with protecting the company against the risks, the legal issues, the compliance issues. So I would say it's the feeling is one of great responsibility, but with great responsibility, the satisfaction or the reward is also great as well. So when you're able to discharge that, it gives you confidence in yourself that we've come this far, because my company is a young company. And the fact that we are young people and that we are doing this as well just gives you a great sense of satisfaction and belief in yourself and your abilities. So, yeah, I think
enough. That sums it up for me. Do you ever feel the imposter syndrome effect? The feeling that, am I really good enough? The self-doubt? And if yes, how do you deal with it?
Oh, the imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome is real, because sometimes you're like, oh, wow, this is a lot. Like sometimes I don't even really think about it until you get into a room and you're negotiating with like CEOs and stuff, and you're like, wow, okay. So how I deal with it is how I deal with a lot of things. I make sure I'm prepared. I make sure I know my stuff. I know what I'm talking about, and and that knowledge gives you a lot of confidence when you know what you're talking about. And the fact that by the time you you engage with the people and they see that you know what you're talking about, then you can see that even if they are a bit taken aback, the respect comes true, right? So how I deal with imposter syndrome is to just always, the fact when I look at the past, over the past years of my career, and I'll just give a bit of perspective on this. You know, when you start out and you have like the foreign law firms and all of that, we in GEP we did a lot of work with the foreign law firms, and when we do those work with the foreign law firms, you see that it's the same thing, right? So that gave me a lot of confidence. That starts like we did a lot of work with big law firms and Magic Circle law firms, and you would see that it's the same thing. It's what I thought is what they thought. So there's no difference in this, in what we're talking about. So that has also helped me because I'm just like, if I'm always prepared, there's no difference between what the person can do that I can do. There's no difference in what they can say that I can say, right? And even if they bring a different perspective to the table, that's always a good thing, right? Because I bring a different perspective to the table as well. So I just always ensure that I'm prepared. I know what I'm talking about. And then I always remember that there's nothing that they can do that I can't do, right? If it's because I'm a woman, I wasn't brought up to think that I cannot do something just because I'm a woman. So I always have that at the back of my mind. If someone tries to, talk over me or shut me up because of that, I, ensure to clear the doubt that, nah, you're not going to talk over me. You're not going to shut me up. Yeah, this is my position. And so I guess that's how I deal with the imposter syndrome. Just looking at, when you look at the work that you've done so far, it's just knowing I have come this far. So whatever brought me this far is going to take me all the way. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Akasemi, for sharing that. I believe no man is an island. So, I mean, everybody, that's my own belief. So what sort of support do you have along the way that contributed to your success?
This kind of support I've had along the way that contributed to my success.
Yes.
So obviously, well, family supports. You have,
sure.
I have very, very supportive, a very supportive family, very supportive parents. My dad is my biggest cheerleader, so that's also given me great confidence. I'm sure I always say if I tell him I want to run for president, he'll be like, "That's a great idea. You can do it." So so that's a good foundation for anybody to have. In terms of the career, I would say a big support has been my mentor, Mr. Georgie Tomi. He taught me a lot of because I trained under him, so he taught me a lot of things, almost everything I know. He gave me the background in the commercial law and the commercial mindset, and what brought me to Springfield was the brief that we had with Jody Tomi and Partners, where I was seconded to Springfield. So that was a huge stepping stone for me. I've also gotten support from my current bosses, Mr. Kevin Autry and Gina Malkani. They have been a great support for me. They give you the authority to negotiate. So they give us a lot of authority. They give us a lot of confidence, put a lot of confidence in our abilities, and that has been a great support for me as well. Just the fact that people, that what you're doing, the work you're doing is actually valued by the people that you're discharging the work for. So I would say, yeah, that's the support, and I think the help that has helped me across the way, and friends and the other support. But for the career-wise, I would say my bosses, Mr. Georgie Tomi, Kevin Autry, Gina Malkani. Yeah, that's what has helped.
That's good to know.
I need to also, and then you don't work alone, right? So you have to work with a team.
Yes.
So I will have shout out to my team members. I have to shout out to my team members. It's not we do a lot of high pressure work, and we are always ready to work together. So the member of my team, Nana, that has also been great because we are dealing with a lot of issues for just how many member teams.
Okay, so this is about one of the last questions. So what sort of advice can you share with my young listeners that they can also take on as they also build on their careers?
Okay. The advice I would share is to know your onions, right? That's a very big one. Know your onions. Keep preparing. Even if it doesn't seem like there's a lot of opportunity for whatever knowledge you're garnering or whatever skills you're garnering, whatever you learn would pay up because no knowledge is wasted along the way. So I would say just keep learning, keep working hard, and don't be afraid of hard work. Like apply yourself to things and do the best because you don't know where your work would be speaking for you. You don't know where it will end up. So you always have to do your best at every single point in time, and don't take it as if, I'm not going to do this because, well, somebody else should do it. Take up responsibility. Don't be afraid to take on responsibility. Don't be afraid to take on new roles. If you're presented with a challenge, take it as a challenge and an opportunity to prove yourself. And that's what I always say: speak up, be bold, be confident, and especially for women, because I'm really passionate about women. Like, be confident, be bold, speak up for yourself, speak up for your work. Don't ever think that you shouldn't do certain things just because you're a woman. Nah, you should always hold your head high, right? And that's the advice I would give.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing. So now this is the last question. So there are four series of fast questions. I call them the Career Conversation 30 Seconds Hotspots. So are you ready?
Yes.
Do you believe in luck?
Do I believe in luck?
Yep.
Yeah. I think luck meets opportunity. Luck meets preparation. So opportunity meets preparation. But yeah, I believe some things are just a stroke of luck. And, we all should pray that we're always on the side of good luck.
True. What's your favorite quote?
My favorite quote. Right now, my favorite quote is high risk, high reward.
Okay.
I don't know why, but that's just my favorite quote right now. I don't know if that's a quote, but yeah, that's my favorite quote right now.
What's the title of the last book you read?
The title of the last book I read. Oh my God. I do not even, wow. I don't even remember, but I'm actually reading a book right now. But I don't remember the name. I read lots of books. I need to go back to that question, but I don't remember their titles, to be honest.
If you were not a lawyer, what would you be?
If I was not a lawyer, what would I be?
Yes.
To be honest, I've always wanted to ever be. The only time I didn't want to be a lawyer, I wanted to be an actress. So
Akasemi, for spending the last few minutes with us. It's so amazing to hear your story and to draw strength from your experience. And I'm sure that everybody listening will also find lessons to use for their own career and as they go on their career journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was my pleasure to be a part of this.
Thank you so much for sticking till the end. I appreciate the time you've decided to spend with me. Kindly share the podcast with your friends. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please take a minute to drop a review. Reach out to us on the podcast Instagram page at Career Conversation Podcast, or reach out to me personally on @Oyin on LinkedIn and on Instagram. I'll personally love to hear from you. Till next time, never stop believing and pursuing your dreams. You will realize it takes you to take a bet on you.